Hey guys doing? This is Michael Fallon. I'm here right now about to interview Peter Shinkoda, actor extraordinaire. He's been in multiple franchises, multiple sci-fi classics. Right now we're just gonna ask him a couple of questions. So what were your thoughts on working on Daredevil for Netflix?
My thoughts. I was grateful, first of all, for getting the job. Once I showed up there, it was fantasy-like. I mean, we've discussed this before. I'm a massive Daredevil fan. I'm standing there in costume, facing off against Charlie Cox, aka Daredevil, and there's a few moments where they'd have to yell "action" twice because I was beside myself, like, "Action, Pete!" Right? Because I was actually living in a comic that I obsessed over since I was a child. So it was just an amazing experience. Everybody should try it.
So how did you get the part of for Daredevil as Nobu?
Through the normal channels. I have a manager and an agent as reps, and they brought the material to me. But it wasn't Daredevil at the time. It had an alias production name. It was called Bluff. And after reading the material, I concluded to myself that it was the Wesley character talking to Foggy Nelson and to Matt Murdock.
Yeah.
And I put it together, and I also had known that just a couple months before, Marvel had signed a 5 TV show deal with Netflix. So, through deliberation, I found out it was Daredevil, and I was very excited. So I read for it 3 times on tape, and they were submitted to New York, but they're all different roles. And eventually, I was hired, and for a while, I didn't know my role was what it turned out to be until maybe a couple days before shooting. I didn't know. So I was kind of in the dark. As you know, Marvel is very secretive about their productions, and that carries on through the cast. I mean, a lot of the cast do not even get full scripts. So it's pretty tough with all that secrecy. But knowing that you're working on a project backed by Marvel, I mean, it's exhilarating. It's huge. I mean, I'd love to be on a CSI, but I have to admit that since I was a child, I'd fantasized, dreamed, aspired to be on something in the Marvel universe. Absolutely. But of course, as a kid, they weren't coming out that much. There weren't that many superhero shows other than the live action Hulk or the Spider-Mans from the 70s. Yeah. But certainly in my imagination, in my fantasy imagination, yeah, I would come to Hollywood and I would get to work on a superhero show. Things have turned out well. I'm very appreciative to be in the place that I am in my career.
Okay, yeah, and then just looking back on everything you've done, I mean, how does it feel to know that you left a big mark, especially in the sci-fi genre, with everything you've done from Falling Skies to iRobot and Netflix?
I feel that I'm fortunate to have all that work, but again, being who I am, Asian, a lot of the time it's not about my great ability as an actor. It's about where I fit in what genres and what stories. So it turns out, as an Asian male, I'm always going to be there'll be I'll always be favored to work in those genres, sci-fi, superhero genres, anything to do with the future. So it turns out that I get cast in a lot of these kinds of shows, and I love it. I think the superhero genre and action thriller genre is my favorite genre since I was a child. Of course, I want to go out and do a Shakespeare and win an Emmy or something, but definitely, I would gravitate towards this kind of material, and I'm happy to contribute to a lot of it. So. I mean, it gives me the opportunity to come out and meet all these amazing people at the cons, which is, it's a favorite thing of mine to do since I was a kid. I've been going to cons in little custodial closets in Montreal since the 80s, so I love being here. If I wasn't here, I'd be probably watching Blade Runner for the 30th time, at home right now.
Plus
so.
the sequel coming out next year.
Denis Villeneuve from Montreal. I would love to be in Blade Runner sequel.
There's still time.
Yeah. You know what? I should write to him.
Basically.
I should write to him. It's the future. It's robotic.
Yeah.
I'm in the sci-fi world already. He's from Montreal. I'm from Montreal. Let's make it happen. We'll see.
Thank you, Peter. We appreciate your time and everything.
I love talking to you, Mike, on social media here or
Peter's one of the most genuine people I've ever met in the industry, and
he doesn't know me too well.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. It's Mike, and this is Peter.
Thank you, guys.